Hey, everybody. My name is Terry Richardson. I am an Emerald Ambassador with Plexus. Thank y'all so much for hopping on this call tonight. Thank you, Christina, for thank you for just taking your time tonight from your family just to pour into us. Before I hand it over to Christina, I wanted to start us out by just sharing a little bit about my story and how I got started in this business. I'm going to talk real fast because she told me I only have 5 minutes and I got things to say. So a lot of y'all have already heard my story. And those of you who have not heard it and are new, you are probably thinking exactly what I was thinking. Why am I even on this call? This is totally out of my comfort zone. I'm nobody special. I could never do what she does. I could never be as confident as her, but I'm here to tell you, you can, because I am proof of it. Before Plexus, I worked 2 16-hour shifts every single weekend for 20 years at the hospital. I had to sacrifice pretty much everything that y'all do on weekends. That is what I sacrificed. And I have 2 boys, 2 teenage boys now. And so all those things, I mean, I didn't get to do. I didn't get to go to the games. I was working holidays, all the things. We were not in a position financially for me to not work, and I wanted to be at home with my kids as much as possible. I had a good job. I was a supervisor on the weekends. I was pretty confident in what I was doing, but we were living paycheck to paycheck. We didn't have much debt, but we did not have any wiggle room, really no extra income to put in for savings, just my 401k, nothing extra on my husband's end. And so my kids were getting older. Caden just turned 18 a few months ago. And so I started thinking about when my kids go off to college, like that is weekends are the only time that I would see them. So I knew we had to do something different. I didn't quite know what it was. So we started praying for a change, unsure of what we were praying for at the time. And this was right around the time when Christina had been following up for probably the 1200th time. Thankfully, I finally listened because I was struggling with my health a whole bunch. And that is another story for another day. But she had no idea of our financial problems or the desire I had in my heart just to help others or to be more. And so I'm just really grateful she was persistent and did not give up on me. I started the products at the end of February in 2020. We did not have any extra income for me to pay for these products. I had to cut back on a little bit of my spending. So I knew that I needed to share enough to have my products paid for. So I told my mama, I didn't ask her, I told her, and 2 of my friends, y'all gonna do this with me. And so they did. Christina, she kept on sharing the opportunity over the next few weeks, even though I straight told her I was not doing this. I had always struggled with belief in myself, always comparing myself to others, staying nice and comfy in my little bubble. And so there was just no way, absolutely no way I was doing this with Miss Confident over there. And so she continued over and over to connect with me over the next several weeks. She knew how much I loved people. And she managed to talk me into an event at her house where I got to meet several other women just like me. See what she did there, who were being successful with this opportunity. And so after that, I left there full of all the emotions. And I realized that if they can figure this thing out and be willing to step out of their comfort zone to help others, so could I. And so just as I continued this journey, I started reading books, slowly changing my daily habits, my thoughts. Christina continued to build belief in me, just telling me the qualities that she saw in me that made me great at this. She called me out anytime I said anything negative about myself, like, I don't know, I would just say, well, I'm not good at that. And she would always, her and Brittany both would always say, well, who told you that? Did God tell you that? And so after I've heard that so many times, it made me really dig more into my Bible and learn like what God was saying about me. And that anytime I start hating on myself, that is always what I do, is just go read what he says about me. And that builds my belief a whole time. She basically taught me how to dream again. Not that I ever think that I did dream. I don't think I ever really did. And so super grateful for that too. About 14 months ago, because of my willingness to grow and changing my thoughts, focusing on others and leaning more on God than ever, I was able to walk away from my 20-year career, and Plexus is now my plan A. And so those sacrifices are no more. Now I don't have to punch a clock anymore. I am my own boss. I get to make my own hours. I get to go on more vacations with my family, not just once a year. Super fun trips with my friends to Mexico. If you follow me on Facebook, you'll see we do lots of trips. I even got to take my husband to Hawaii this year for our 20th anniversary on the company's dime. Date nights with my husband. Never had that before. I get to wake up with my husband on a Saturday morning and have coffee. And I know that is not a big thing for y'all, but when you haven't had that for 20 years, it is huge. And I will not be putting Christmas on a credit card this year. I could sit here and tell y'all a gazillion things that this opportunity has allowed me to do. But I'm gonna turn it over to Christina. I'm super grateful. However you're feeling now, just know that was me, and it is a choice, and you can change it. Your turn, Christina.
I love it. And Terry also left out that she hit the rank of Emerald 3 months after starting. The rank of Emerald is a 6-figure annual income. It comes with a car bonus, Plexus Lexus, trips to Hawaii every year with her husband. So lots of big perks. So, hey, y'all, I'm Christina Williams. I'm a Diamond Ambassador, which simply just means I've helped a lot of people who have been in your exact same shoes. The whole idea of, okay, I think I'm going to try this. I've helped a lot of people get from I'm going to try this to I'm going to do this. And then we've done it. And so I just want you to know, I don't come to you today. Terry says, you know, she was so afraid of doing this with Miss Confident. I haven't always been this confident. Confidence comes from competence. And what I have learned over the 6 years that I've been building this is that network marketing is simply a set of skills. If it were a college course, y'all, it would be the easiest college course because the skills never change. You've got to learn how to talk to people about a product. You've got to learn how to follow up with them, and you've got to learn how to help other people do the same thing. And so what I did have when I started this, you guys, I was a school teacher. I taught 4th grade for 7 years. I'm a mom of 4. And what I found early on in my teaching career was that it didn't really matter how hard I taught or how creative I became or how many hours I was willing to teach overtime or prepare lesson plans. I was going to be capped at the certain income, right? And I don't believe that everything is about money. I was a teacher, for crying out loud. So I definitely didn't aspire to have a ton of wealth. I have always aspired to have a ton of experiences. And as my kids were growing up, my oldest is now 18. She was 12 when I started. I realized that the teenage years were actually the expensive years. They tell you that babies are expensive. That's a lie. That's a lie. What's expensive is those middle and high school cheer teams and travel soccer and car insurance when you have to add them and buying extra vehicles. And I just saw that looming. And as someone who was on a fixed income with no way to go, and you can't go ask the state of Georgia for a raise, right? There was really not going to be any relief in sight. So I was open to the idea of doing something on the side. I just wasn't willing to sacrifice what was the most important. So, which that was time with my family. I only had from 4 to 8 p.m. every single day with my humans. And then of course the weekends. So getting a part-time job felt like, no, that's what it felt like. It felt like no. And so when the idea of Plexus as an opportunity was presented to me for over a year, I did the same thing Terry did. I just was not open for over a year. So congratulations, you've made it to this call in less time than it took me to make it to a call like this. So I hope that encourages you. But you guys, like I said, if this were a college course, it would be the easiest one. So my goal tonight, we have 19 minutes left. I'm going to respect your time, is for basically you to walk away from this understanding why would I do something like this? Like what makes it reputable? What makes it legitimate? What makes it long-term and sustainable? Because those were all concerns that I had. As a teacher, I wasn't really willing to risk my credibility. I didn't want to give up the love that I have for security. These were things that I had to wrestle with. And so I hope to just share with you a little bit that will help you just kind of see this in a different light. So if you see me looking to the side, it's because I have notes, because unlike Terry thinks, even the most confident people get nervous. So my heart and passion here is just that if this is something that God would have you pursue, that some of what you will hear tonight will just calm the fear in the background. Just know the fear never, ever completely goes away. I had the same fear when I was deciding to be an educator, and while I was in college, and when I was student teaching, and every single year on the first day of school, when it was my turn to be in the classroom all alone with these humans, I had the same fear. So the fear is going to be there anytime that you're starting on a new journey. There's a learning curve. There's things you've got to be willing to learn and overcome. So basically, if you decide that you want to do this with us, you guys, the foundation of that is going to be belief in the products, belief in network marketing, and belief in yourself. So why our products? Okay. I could spend all day long telling you about scientific reasons that Plexus is effective. It's not what I'm going to do tonight. There's tons of research out there on gut health and blood sugar balance. Basically, belief in the products comes down to this. We have a consumable product that every person needs, regardless of gender, regardless of race, regardless of age, regardless of any of that. If they have a gut and they consume food, we can help them. Just about every single thing that people struggle with is traced back to those root issues. And so that belief, the fact that our products are so effective, that's what makes this opportunity so valuable. Listen, I have friends who sell a lot of different things, and I support them in most of their endeavors. However, for me to be willing to put myself out there and to get out of my comfort zone, to share something with others, I needed it to be life-changing. And I love my mascara and my Pampered Chef and my 31 bags, but it was not going to be something that I was going to be willing to offer people repeatedly, because listen, my pizza stone is great, but it has not changed my life. What has changed my life is coming off of 6 or 7 different blood pressure medications, being off of my anxiety medication for over 6 years, helping moms who used to have to map out restrooms along their vacation route because they had terrible IBS. Like, they don't have to deal with that anymore. Those things are life-changing. So belief in the products, you have to have it. If you don't have it, you can build it. And that's also what I love. You can build your belief by reading other testimonies, by researching ingredients, by understand gut health. Make it your mission to understand gut health. Okay, belief in the products, you have to have it. Y'all, we're flying here, so hang with me. Okay, you have to have belief in network marketing. It is the fastest growing and highest paid profession in the entire world. More businesses are going to this social selling model, especially post 2020, right, than ever before. Things that you could have never ordered online, now you can, because companies are realizing just how viable this option is. When you decide to do something like this with Plexus, basically you're given a business in a box. You don't have to create any product. You don't have to create a compliance department. You don't have to create packaging and shipping and customer service. All of that is provided to you. You just have to be willing to open your mouth and tell people about it. I love that it's a low startup cost. You guys, you can build a business for $9.95. You cannot even go buy a value meal at Chick-fil-A for that anymore. Okay. $9.95. And what you do, you have basically created for yourself an opportunity for unlimited income and purpose and potential and outreach, which I dig. Okay. Terry mentioned some of the other things, the recognition, the trips. I mean, you guys, I have a check in there. It looks like a Price is Right, like a big check for $10,000 I earned because I was just doing what it takes to grow my business. You're recognized for your efforts here. And listen, there's very few professions where somebody would say, I was recognized for a job well done. I was recognized for a job well done. We just forget how much we need that recognition, how much we need that attaboy, right? And here they're always looking for ways to recognize us. So, okay. Oh, we gotta fly. Network marketing is the only place where you can take a 30-year career and condense it down into 3 to 5. 3 to 5 years. I started building this 6 years ago. I matched my teaching income within the first 9 months. After that, I continued to teach for 2 more years. And then when I hit the top rank of the company, Terry hit it in 3 months, took me 3 years. And I ain't even mad about it, because all along the way, what I was doing was learning skills. I was growing as a person. There were certainly things that I had to overcome and become in order to be able to handle a 6-figure income. So hit the top of the company at Emerald 3 years in. 1 year later, I hit Diamond, which is like tippy top. And I've helped other people do the same thing. So condense that career. Y'all, it wouldn't have mattered how many years I taught. I would have never achieved a 6-figure income. The state of Georgia is not paying any elementary school teachers $100,000 a year. Okay. And now I have met that, surpassed it multiple times, simply because I'm passionate about health and wellness, and I'm passionate about helping other women create opportunities for themselves. So we talked about the foundation for building this: belief in the products, belief in network marketing, and you've got to have belief in yourself. And just like the other 2 areas, building belief in yourself is something that you can be proactive to do. Maybe you don't have natural confidence in yourself. You guys, the confidence that I had in myself came from realizing that the people who were being successful must just know something that I didn't know yet. And that encouraged me, because it meant that I could go learn it. I knew that I know I'm smart, or at least capable of learning. Maybe I learned slower than some, I don't know, but I knew I could figure it out. If people are being successful at what you want to be successful at, you just have to go learn what they've learned and be willing to do what they've been willing to do. And I was willing. I knew that I would do it. So when it comes to belief in yourself here, one thing that's important to know is that this business is 80% mindset. 80% of the likelihood of whether or not you will be successful lies between your ears. What are you telling yourself? There's only 20% of skill set needed to be successful here. And you guys, we can teach it to you. This is one of the fastest growing teams in the entire company. And I don't say that to brag. I say that to encourage you to know that we have failed forward repeatedly in the process of creating systems that could be refined for people like you. People who want to come along and who want to build a way out of a certain career, or they want to build a really strong secondary stream of income. We've created systems. And so 20% of that is going to be what we can give you as far as skill set. 80% of it is going to come down to what you're believing, what you're telling yourself about yourself. Believing that most people are not naturals at this. Terry is probably the only human on the face of the earth who's actually natural at this. She just happens to be a connector. She just happens to have spent almost 40 years building relationships. So when she decided to do this, that felt easy. She's an anomaly. That's not most. I wasn't a quick starter. I wasn't a fast learner, but yet here I am, still extremely successful. So be willing to be bad to get good. I tell people all the time, I'm just willing to be a disaster before I'm a master. I'm okay with failing forward. I know it's just part of the process. And every time I fail forward, I'm coming back with more wisdom and more experience. And the next time it'll look a little differently. Something else to encourage you and belief in yourself is that you're going to encounter the same hurdles that other people in this business have encountered. There are people who are just as busy as you. There are people who have just as many holdups, hangups, mindsets, unsupportive spouses, a million kids, no kids, working full-time, working from home. Whatever you're believing could hold you back, just know someone here in Plexus has had the same obstacles and has just chosen to overcome them anyways. That's encouraging to me, because again, I can make that same choice. It doesn't have to hold me back. I'll go create a victory story for someone in my situation who can then be encouraged by what I've built, right? Okay, so your thoughts will determine how you behave every time. Your thoughts will determine how you behave. All right, here we go. So that is the foundation. You cannot be successful without belief in those three areas. If you don't have belief in one or more of those areas, we can help you build it. Both of us have built belief in different areas. Terry's belief was definitely in herself. My belief was definitely in building my belief in network marketing. Was this legit? Did good people do this? If they did it, could they be successful? If they were successful, could they stay successful? These were all fears that I had. So just know it's okay. Your fears and your skepticisms don't have to mean anything for your long-term success. Okay, so that's the foundation for your business. The fuel for your business, if you decide to do this, is going to be your why. Basically, your why can be summed up by answering this question. And this question is going to be hard for many of you, but if your bank account was overflowing, not overdrawn, overflowing, and your calendar was totally empty and at your control, how would you spend your time? How would you spend your money? Where would your kids spend their days? Where would you live? What would your husband do for a living? What would your husband do for a hobby? What would you do for a hobby? But we get to this point in our life where we've been told no long enough. We've been told to sit down, shut up, be content long enough that this dream part of our brain stops. We can't dream of a European vacation that's 3 weeks long because we only get 2 weeks paid a year. And we got to use one of those weeks for kid appointments, sick days, whatever. We can't dream of what we would like to do because we are bound by the constraints of our life. But I would just challenge you to think, if your calendar was totally under your control and your bank account was overflowing, what would you do with your life? And then why is that important? People will say, well, I want to be able to leave the classroom. Well, why? Well, I'd like to be at home with my kids. Well, why? Well, because kids grow up very, very quickly. I only get one shot at this childhood thing or this teenage thing or this young adult thing. Well, why is that important? Well, I'd like to be able to be there to mentor them and to shepherd them. And when I'm teaching, I was feeling pulled in a million different directions and they got what was left, not what was best. And for me, I didn't love that. So really drilling down into what would you create and why is that important? And then you've got to be willing to give this time to grow. This is not a get rich quick scheme. Can you grow your income quickly? 100%. If you're willing to roll up your sleeves, sweat a little bit, be uncomfortable, and fail forward, you could go significantly change your income very quickly. But you're going to have to give this time to grow. Most people require multiple follow-ups, even about the products. Most people require multiple follow-ups about the opportunity. But those of you who are willing to engage in that process, you will be the one to reap the rewards. Guys, there's going to be hurdles in anything that you endeavor in, but it will be worth it. I have actually asked all 4 of my kids at different points along this journey, like, do you think this is worth it? Like, we have our non-negotiables. So my kids would probably tell you that they don't even have to sacrifice, which isn't true. It's a Monday night. They're sacrificing right now. Do they see it as a sacrifice? No, they see it as an investment. Mommy is working her business. Why is that important? Because mommy is helping us be able to, afford adventures and vacations and experiences and, 2 teenagers having cars, and they understand that mommy's investing. 100%, they would say this has been worth it. So that's the fuel for your business, your why. Why are you here? If it is not bigger than just you, it will not propel you forward on the days that it feels hard, and it will feel hard some days. Everything that we do feels hard some days. Some days leg workouts feel way harder than others. Some days being married feels way harder than others. Some days being a mom feels way harder than others. Be okay with the fact that it'll feel tough sometimes. Keep that eye on the prize of, why am I building this? And if I don't build it here, what will it look like to give up that dream totally? The pain of giving up my dream was always so much heavier than the pain of pushing through. So I just kept pushing through. Okay, so if you decide that you want to do this, what is it going to require? You got to get real good at 4 things, okay? And there's plenty of training on all 4 of these things, so I'm not going to get into it right now. But basically, you're going to have to be willing to be consistent. That is the most important trait of someone who wants to be consistent here, because consistency beats intensity every day. It eats it for lunch. However, if you want to grow a business quickly, consistency coupled with intensity can equal massive momentum. But this is a journey that you set the pace. You don't have to follow anyone else's pace. If you're coming in and you're saying, hey, I want to build this and I got 30 minutes a day, help me be effective with 30 minutes a day. If you're coming in, you say, you know what, I got 2 hours a day. I'm willing to find 4 30-minute chunks a day. Help me be effective with those chunks every day. There's a million different ways to skin a cat, you guys. Consistency is what we are looking for. And then you got to master 4 pillars. You've got to learn how to talk to people about Plexus, period. You've got to learn how to talk to them. You've got to learn how to bring it up to new people. You've got to learn how to follow up with people who have not been interested. You've got to learn how to follow up with people who are kind of interested. And there are ways that you can learn that skill that feels authentic. It feels genuine. It feels like it's focused on serving that individual, not selling something that they don't need. So you've got to learn how to recruit. You've got to learn how to bring people into your organization. Then once they're here, you've got to help them love their products. That's called retention, where we help people get great results on their products. It's not important enough for us to just sell products. We are here to serve our customers, make sure that they're loving their products, help troubleshoot what they're not loving, help make product suggestions, etc. Then you got to get real good at duplicating. All that means is helping other people do what you're doing. You're sharing Plexus with people, help someone else do that. You're open to changing your family's financial situation, share that possibility with others, and then empower them with the same systems you're going to be using. Show them how to do what you're doing. And then the 4th pillar is leadership. Leadership is just helping the people who have said, I want to do this, helping them be successful. It means that you're plugging them into the team culture, doing calls like this. You guys, we have a call at 9 o'clock every Monday night. Every Monday night. Even if you have no clue how to lead anybody anywhere, you can say, come learn with me. I've got a team. They've got resources at our disposal. They will invest in us. They will love on us. Come jump on this team call with me Monday. And that is where the leadership process starts. So guys, I would encourage you to dream really big. So many times we're told, just be content, just be content, just be content. However, I believe that we are called to an abundance. I believe when good people, when God's people have an abundance of resources, a lot of good can happen. You guys, somebody is going to be the ones earning $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month. Someone is going to earn that. It might as well be you. It might as well be your family that's benefiting from it. If other people are being successful at what you wish you could have, just be willing to learn what they've learned, be willing to do what they've done, and give it time to grow. I'm excited. I know that some of you are going to take this bull by the horns, and it's going to be a wild, crazy, fun ride, and I'm here for it. So team calls at 9. It's on Zoom right here. The Zoom ID, if you have a pen, it's 854-387858. 254-387858. For those of you that want to jump on, if you don't have it yet, if you did not get that message, somebody who invited you and say, hey, what's that ID? Jump on 9 o'clock. You will totally be inspired. See you guys later.